Hello everybody, myself Prasanta Mukhopadhyay, faculty member, Electrical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. So in this electric machine 2 class, in the last lecture, we have discussed about equivalent circuit of single phase induction motors, different starting methodologies, and under this different starting methods, we have discussed resistor split phase motors. Today, we will discuss capacitor split phase motors or capacitor start motors, and then we will proceed further to discuss different methods of startings and different of single phase induction motors. So, capacitor split phase motors or capacitor start motors is basically identical to a resistor split phase motors, except that the starting winding has as many turns as the main winding. Moreover, a capacitor C is connected in series with the starting winding, and that is shown here. So see, this is the starting winding, and a capacitor is connected in series with the starting winding. In addition, with the say centrifugal switch. Okay, so basically the value of the capacitor is so chosen that starting winding current IS leads IM main winding currents by about 80 degree. So this is the phase difference that is about 80 degree. Which is considerably greater than 25 degree found in resistor split phase motor. So consequently, the starting torque which is proportional to Im Is sin phi, or you can write starting torque equal to K Im Is sin phi, and is a much more than that of split phase motors, because this phi is large. So this sin phi, you know, this as phi increases, a value of sin phi increases as phi increases from 0 to 90 degree. So again, the starting winding is opened by the centrifugal switch when the motor attains about 75% of synchronous speed. So the motor then operates as a single phase induction motor and continues to accelerate till it reaches the normal speed. So other things are same like say resistor split phase motor. Okay, so this is actually the circuit diagram. This is the starting winding. Capacitor is connected in series with this starting winding. In addition with the centrifugal switch, and in parallel with that, this is the main winding, and across this single phase supply is given. This is the squirrel cage rotor, and this is the starting winding current, and this is the main winding current. The phase difference between these two is 80 degree, whereas it was in case of resistor split phase motors, it was around 25 to 30 degree. Okay, so basically the characteristics are the starting characteristics of a capacitor start motor are better than those of a resistor split phase motor. Both machines possess the same running characteristics because the main windings are identical, you know, and the phase angle between the two currents is about 80 degree compared to about 25 degree in resistor split phase motors, and consequently for the same starting torque, the current in the starting winding is only about half that in a resistor split phase motor, and therefore the starting winding of a capacitor start motor heats up less, since current is almost half in that case of resistor split phase motors, and so this therefore the starting winding of the capacitor start motor heats up less quickly, and is well suited to applications involving either frequent or prolonged starting period. So the full load torque, actually, if we see the torque speed characteristics, this will be like this. Okay, so this is the torque speed characteristics of the capacitor start or capacitor split phase motors, and this is the switching speed. Okay, this portion, this is actually synchronous speed at n equal to ns, and this is at n equal to 0. So this is the starting torque. Okay, so applications of this type of actually this is given in terms of percentage of full load torque. Basically, this is given, and applications of this type of motors are, since these motors possesses high starting torque, and these motors are used for refrigerators, air conditioners, compressors, reciprocating pumps, and other loads requiring high starting torque. And the power rating of such motors lies between 120 watt and 750 watt. So in between 120 watt and 750 watts, capacitors motors power ratings are lying. So once again, I'm telling you, in capacitor start motor, so this is a instead of resistors, a capacitor is connected in series with the starting winding, in addition with the centrifugal switch, and this capacitors help to generate the phase difference between IS and IM about say 80 degree, and as a result starting torque, which is equal to K IS IM of sine phi, since phi is data, so this starting torque is more. And not only that, this starting winding heats up less, and then as a result performance is better. It can be used for prolonged times, and the applications are this is the say torque speed characteristics, and this is the applications are in refrigerators, air conditioners, compressors, reciprocating pumps, and other loads running say requiring high starting torque. And the power rating of such motors lying between 120 watt to 750 watts. Okay, so that's all about this capacitor start or capacitor split phase motors. Okay, now we'll discuss the next motors, that is capacitor star and capacitor run motors, which is particularly known as two capacitor motors. And this motor is identical to a capacitor star motor, except that starting winding is not open after starting, so that both the winding remains connected to the supply when running as well as starting. And so two designs are generally used, two designs. Basically, in one design, a single capacitor is used for both starting and running, that is shown here. See, this is no centrifugal switch is provided because the auxiliary winding or starting winding and main winding will remain with the so long the motor will run. So basically, this is one type of winding that is capacitor is permanently connected with this auxiliary winding. And the second type of winding, so actually this is I told you this is shown here, and this design eliminates the need of centrifugal switch and at the same time improves the power factor and efficiency of the motor. So this is one advantage. And in the other design, the two capacitors C1 and C2 are used in the starting winding as shown here. So this is actually in the starting winding, two windings are connected, C1 and C2 in parallel, and in C2 switch, centrifugal switch is also connected in series with this. Okay, so basically see that is shown here. So the smaller capacitor C1 required for optimum running condition and is permanently connected in series and with the starting winding. The much larger capacitor C2 is connected in parallel with C1 for optimum starting and remains in the circuit during starting. And the starting capacitor C1 is disconnected when the motor approaches about 75% of the synchronous speed, and the motor then runs as a single phase induction motor. So this is the case. Here this is the auxiliary or the starting winding. Here two capacitors are used. Smaller one is permanently connected with and in parallel with this say larger one or bigger one in comparison to this smaller one C1, and it is with C2 centrifugal switch is connected in series, so that when the motor is getting the 75% of the synchronous speed, this switch will be open, and this capacitor C2 will be disconnected from the auxiliary winding, and as a result this will be then run as a permanent capacitor motor. So C1 in permanently connected with this auxiliary winding, and other winding or main winding as it is. Okay, so the characteristics of this starting winding and the capacitor can be designed for perfect two-phase operation at any load, and the motor then produces a constant torque and not a pulsating torque as in other single-phase motors. And because of constant torque, the motor is vibration-free, and mostly these are applications are in hospitals, studios, and other places where silence is important. Share and see, this is the characteristics. So again, this is the phase angle between starting and the main winding at 80 degree, and this is the torque, the capacitor on motor. This is the switching speed. Okay, so this is the starting torque. So this actually the power ratings of such motors lies between 100 to 400 watts. Okay, and this is the percentage of full load torque. This is actually speed. Okay, if you see, there is a distinct difference of this torque speed characteristics of these two motors. Okay, so single capacitor or capacitor start motor or capacitor speed motor and two capacitors motors, you can find the difference between these two characteristics. Okay, so basically these are used in the place where vibration and noise free environment is required, and that's why it is mostly used in hospitals, studios, and other places where silence is important. And since extra capacitor and of bigger value and centrifugal switch are required here, so definitely it is cost is more than single capacitor or capacitor start motor. So this is the case, and see, this is the phasor diagram between single starting winding and main winding, which is around 80 degree, and this is the supply voltage, which is taken as a reference for drawing any phasor diagram, and this is torque speed characteristics. So now we'll talk about capacitor run motors. So before going to the capacitor run motors, I would like to discuss whether you are say. So what actually we are trying to find out that so far in today's class we have discussed capacitor start motors, single phase induction motor, that is a single value capacitor motor, and we have also discussed two capacitor motor, that is capacitor start, capacitor run motors, and hopefully you have understood that is what is the advantages, what is the disadvantages of this single capacitor motors and two capacitors motor, that's capacitor start and capacitor run motors, and where it can be used, what could be their power ratings, what is the difference between their say torque speed characteristics, and what type of operations capacitor start motor and capacitor start capacitor run motors are suitable, and what is the reason behind it. So everything we have discussed, and for noise free, vibration free, and prolonged operations and better operations, where we definitely use this capacitor start capacitor run motors, and definitely it is little bit costlier than the earlier one. And with this, we can conclude our discussions with this. We can conclude our discussions on capacitors and single phase induction motors. Now we'll start capacitor run motors. Practically, this is actually known as the permanent capacitor motor also. So this is basically is a permanent split capacitor motor, and the same capacitor is kept permanently in series with auxiliary winding both at starting and under running conditions, and that is shown here. So this is the capacitors which is connected permanently with the starting winding, both at starting as well as in the running conditions. It will be permanently connected with this starting or auxiliary winding, and no centrifugal switch is provided here, and at a particular desired load the capacitors and auxiliary windings can be designed in such a fashion that 90-degree time phase displacement between the two winding currents can be achieved, more or less 90 degree, not actual, but we can say that this is almost a 90-degree time phase displacement between two windings. And in such a case, the motor would operate as a balanced two-phase induction motor, since it is almost 90-degree time phase displacement between starting current and running current or main winding current. So this motor can be can be considered as a balanced two-phase induction motor, and so backward rotating flux would therefore be absent, and motor have improved efficiency and better operating power factor. And since backward rotating field can be reduced to zero, the pulsating torque due to interaction between the forward and backward rotating fields is absent, and this results in a quiet motor, so they're almost noise-free motor. Okay, so this is actually the circuit diagram, and this is the characteristics curve of this permanent capacitor motor or capacitor run motor. So in these motors, the value of the permanent capacitor is so chosen that to obtain compromise between the base starting and running condition, and basically this is the factors by which we can get our time almost 90-degree time phase displacement between these two winding currents. Okay, and so a typical torque speed characteristics here shown. So, and this motor is used where noise-free or quiet operation is essential, as in case of offices, classrooms, theaters, and in ceiling fans, in which the value of the capacitors varies from 2 to 3 microfarad, mostly to 2.25 or 2.5 microfarad is the practical value. So that is about this capacitor run or permanent capacitor motors. Once again, I am telling you this is actually permanent split capacitor motor, and the same capacitor is kept permanently in series with auxiliary winding both at starting and under running conditions, and no centrifugal switch is used, and at a particular desired load the capacitor and the auxiliary winding can be designed in such a way that to result 90-degree time phase displacement between the two winding currents, and in such case the motor would operate as a balanced two-phase induction motor, and backward rotating flux therefore be absent, and the motor would have improved efficiency and better operating power factor. And since backward rotating field can be reduced to zero, the pulsating torque due to interaction between forward and backward rotating fields is absent, and this results in a noise-free or quiet motor. And this is the, once again I'm telling you, this is the circuit diagram. Okay, in the starting winding there is no centrifugal switch, and this capacitor is kept permanently, so it will improve the efficiency. That is, the value is chosen in such a fashion. In case of ceiling fan, it is 2 to 3 microfarad, or 2 to 2.5 is mostly used microfarad, and as a result the say time displacement between these two currents is almost 90 degree, and as a result no backward flux is being generated, and no pulsating torque is being created, and actually the motor runs as a quiet or noise-free motor, mostly used in this is the torque speed characteristics. This is switching speed. This is the capacitor motor. So this is the starting torque. Okay, and mostly these motors are in use in case of office, classroom, theaters, ceiling fans, and capacitors value varies from 2 to 3 microfarad. So now we'll start discussions on shaded pole motors. This is a very important motor, particularly for traction horsepower motor. Basically, the shaded pole motor is very popular for rating below 40 watt or around 40 watt 0.05 HP. So, because of its extremely simple construction, and it has salient poles on the stator excited by a single phase supply, and single case rotor is also there. A portion of each pole is surrounded by a short-circuited turn of copper strip called the shading coil. So this is here the salient pole motors. These are the shading coils. This is nothing but a copper strip, say short-circuited copper strips here, and this is actually the main winding. Okay, this is actually the main winding. This is single phase supply. So the operations of the motor can be understood if we refer the figure. This figure, actually, this figure, so figure A, B, C, D, or figure 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this figure 1.8b. So basically, actually. During the position OA of the alternating current cycle, that is here, this is OA, this is alternating current, this is actually OA. So during this portion, the flux begins to increase, and an EMF is induced in the shading coil. As soon since this current is go on increasing, the flux is also increasing. So flux is nothing but the directly proportional to the current. So since this current is increasing, flux is also increasing, and so the resulting and this flux, increasing flux, will induce an EMF in the shading coil. So basically, this will induce an EMF in the shading coil. Okay, so this is the shading coil, and the EMF will be induced here. So since the resulting current in the shading coil will be in such a direction, so as a result, the resulting current in the shading coil will be in such a direction, that is as per Lenz's law, so as to oppose the change in the flux. So thus the flux in the shaded portions of the pole is weakened, while that in the unshaded portion is standard in the that is shown here. So see, due to this increasing current, and EMF will be induced in the shading coil, and this EMF will be is in direct opposition for the very cause of its generation, that is this say a flux which is being generated by this increasing current, and as a result the resulting flux during this shaded portion will be weakened, and the rest of the portions will be standard. Okay, so now if we consider the portion AB of this cycle, the alternating cycle, so this is AB. So what will happen? The flux has reached almost maximum value and is not changing. Okay, so here it is almost at AB, it is almost maximum, and since there is no change, rate of change of flux linkages will be 0. Okay, flux is maximum, nothing, no question about it, but the rate of change of flux is say 0, almost 0. So that as a result, say the flux distribution across the pole is uniform, and since no current is flowing in the setting coil, so here this is the flux distribution is almost uniform here. It is the setting coil portions, and this is the non-shaded portions. Okay, so this flux distribution will be, since no current will be flowing through this coil, because of flux is maximum, rate of change of flux is 0 here, and no EMF will be induced and no current will flow, and as a result the flux distribution during the shaded portions and the non-shaded portions will be more or less uniform. Okay, now if we take the portion BC of the alternating current cycle, these portions, again now flux is current is decreasing, flux will decreasing, and as a result, so what will happen? As the flux decreases, portion BC of the alternating current cycle, current is induced in the setting coil, and so as to oppose the decrease in the current, and thus the flux in the shaded portions of the pole is strengthened, while that in the unshaded portion is weakened. So that is shown here. Okay. So the effect of shading coil is to cause the field flux to shift across the pole face from the unshaded to the shaded portions. Clear? Unshaded to the shaded portion. So the effect of the shading coil is to cause the field flux to shift across the pole face from the unshaded to the shaded portions, and this shifting flux is like a rotating weak field moving in the direction from unshaded portion to the shaded portions of the pole. Clear? So as a result, the rotor since is of squirrel cage type and is under the influence of this moving field, consequently a small starting torque is developed, and as soon as this torque starts to revolve the rotor, additional torque is produced by the single phase induction motor in action, and the motor accelerates to a speed slightly below the synchronous speed and runs as a single phase induction motor. Okay. So this is the operating principle of the shaded pole motor, induction motor, single phase induction motors, and let's see what is the say characteristics, because the salient features of the motors are extremely simple construction, see, and absence of centrifugal switch, and starting torque, efficiency and power factor are very low. Okay, and for this what is the result? The applications area. These motors are only suitable for low power applications, as for example to drive small fans, toys, hair dryers, desk fans, etc. And the power ratings of such motors, as I told you, it is up to 40 watt maximum, or up to about 30 watt. Okay, so that's all about this shaded pole motors. So today we can't start a new topic because time will not permit. So once again we can recapitulate what we have discussed in today's lessons. So firstly we have discussed different capacitors, split phase motors. So capacitors start single phase motor. Then we have discussed actually two capacitor motors, that is capacitor start, capacitor ground motors, and finally we have discussed permanent capacitor motors, and last of all we have discussed shaded pole single phase induction motor. And not only that, we have discussed their power ratings, their circuit diagrams, their torque speed characteristics, and different applications areas, how, where and why they are being used, and what is the advantages of using this capacitors over like resistors in our earlier class. and how it is improving the efficiency, power factors of the motors. That's all. If you have any queries, you can ask me. Okay, thank you.